This is the hardest achievement ever completed on Roblox. Here's how it was beaten. This is the Tower of Annoyingly Simple Trials, a Roblox obstacle course that takes over 4 seconds to beat with near possible jumps. And to make matters worse, this tower has no flaws. Nobody dared to take on the challenge until a player named bigboodeelatinaz decided he would take on the challenge. On April 31st of 2020, bigboodeelatinaz would take on the challenge, and his months-long grind allowed him to take on the challenge, where he quickly made it to the second of 10 floors of the Tower of Annoyingly Simple Trials. But due to his low FPS, he could no longer progress further in the tower. Why? Because with more frames, you have just a bit more time to walk off the platform before jumping off, giving you a major advantage after taking on the challenge. Sure enough, he quickly progressed to the second floor of 10, but this is where he got demotivated. No matter how hard bigboodeelatinaz tried, he just couldn't seem to take on the challenge. And knowing that floor 10 has the hardest climb in the entire tower, it made him lose hope. But with his determination, he was eventually able to take on the challenge, getting to floor 2 and soon after, 2. His motivation was re-sparked, and bigboodeelatinaz knew he could take on the challenge. After some fails on 2 and a short coffee break, he had quickly got into 2, the second challenge of the tower. He wouldn't take on the challenge that attempt, but on the next, he had successfully made it to floor 2 and was now at the second floor of the Tower of Annoyingly Simple Trials. But would he do it? bigboodeelatinaz had successfully made it to floor 3 and was now ready to take on the challenge. Even though he had failed 3 on his practice runs, he was determined to take on the challenge. And after just 2 more attempts, he would manage to take on the challenge and beat the hardest achievement on Roblox, showing that if you don't give up when the Tower of Annoyingly Simple Trials knocks you down, you can always get back up. And that's how. This is the Roblox player who changed everything. Welcome to the Tower of Anger, a seemingly regular looking tower with almost 11 floors located in the first ring of the game Eternal Towers of Hell. But there's one secret that this tower does not want you to know. You see, this tower appears to be one of the game's easiest, with a green portal color and no warning signs. But regulars of the game know that this is actually the hardest obby on Roblox. Even with their immense knowledge of the game's mechanics, they knew that no matter who tried to take on the Tower of Anger, nobody would be able to take on the challenge. That's when a player by the name of bigboodeelatinaz decided that he would take on the challenge. bigboodeelatinaz was not just any regular of the game, he was the regular of the game. He gained international recognition after completing the Tower of Annoyingly Simple Trials and was deemed the new king of obbying. Immediately after starting the challenge he was facing seemed to be out of his league, but he knew that no matter what, he had to take on the challenge. He had successfully made it to floor 2, which for some context is the second floor of the tower. Much like Toast, Tower of Anger had a devious jump on floor 2. Not only is the floor 2 Tower of Anger willy-nilly wobble-double extraterrestrial poopy fart jump, or the Fato Winnerwood Depajur. The wobbly wiggly did not demotivate bigboodeelatinaz, as he knew he could take on the challenge, and soon after, he tried to take on the challenge. Knowing that he had not long to go, he quickly made his way up to the final staircase, but that's when he was stopped by his brother, Monkey Nut Gaming. Monkey Nut Gaming was not here to end his run, but only to say some final words of encouragement. My brother, you got this. Go. And after Monkey Nut Gaming had vanished, bigboodeelatinaz had completed the Tower of Anger, once again crowning himself as the king of obbying. And it goes to show that if you fall down, you gotta get up and stop falling down, you ditzy bastard. And that is the Roblox player who did the impossible. Welcome to Bitter Misery, one of the most undoubtedly difficult areas to complete in all of Roblox history. And while many of the challenges in this area contain some of the jumps ever, there was one challenge that nobody dared to take on. This was known as the Tower of Modernistic Design Choices, and only the man known as bigboodeelatinaz was willing to take on the challenge. bigboodeelatinaz was built for one purpose and one purpose only, and that was to be the best Roblox obby player the world had ever seen. And to prove he could live up to that responsibility, he had to take on the challenge, known as the challenge. Like many of his previous completions, floor 1 was quite easy for him. However, he soon met his first roadblock when he made his way up to floor 2. Floor 2, for some additional context in case you aren't familiar, is the number 2 floor out of all the floors, and he was currently standing at floor 2 on all the floors of the tower. Determined to take on the challenge, he cleaned through the majority of the second floor and was finally face to face with the notorious Dinky Jump. The Dinky Jump is one of the main reasons as to why this tower is so notorious in the first place, and while Monkey Nut Gaming had a close call, he ultimately failed the jump, even with his near perfect execution. However, with his countless hours of grinding, training, and growing, bigboodeelatinaz had successfully, after countless hours of grinding, training, and growing, conquered the jump. His progression from this point onward was full of haste, as he wasted no time taking on the challenge and making it all the way up to the final floor of the tower. However, he was met with yet another disastrous jump, floor 2. Floor 2 did not like bigboodeelatinaz, as nobody had ever beaten him before. However, with his determination, bigboodeelatinaz, after countless hours of grinding, training, and growing, defeated floor 2 and had successfully completed the Tower of Modernistic Design Choices, which goes to show that if you never give up on your journey, you'll probably make it further than when you started. And that's how